Kind of strike down your surface to get rid of the mag trowel, the drag look. All I'm doing is bringing it to like more of a slick surface. And I'm going to get ready to, I'm basically preparing it to receive my texture. This just takes kind of a gentle touch. I'm not really putting a lot of pressure onto it. So, next up, we'll go with slate. This is a slate roll. I got two skins. I've got the slate roller. This is, I think, called the Presidential. Greg, is this first skin called the Presidential?
Yes. Yeah, the other is
Monster slate.
Presidential and monster slate.
Monster slate has obviously the deeper, the deeper relief, and the Presidential is more subtle. Okay, those are the two that we'll use. And then of course I've got the slate roller. There's also a trowel over here that's a slate trowel. And just so you know, when we come out with a trowel or a roller that has a skin, there's always a roller, a trowel, and a texture pad. It's kind of like a three kit, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're using a roller to cover a lot of spaces, that's great, but there might be some areas that you can't get to with the roller, so you got to use a trowel. Or if you want to do some, some wider areas, you might want to use a texture pad to try to get that texture out there. So it's good to have all three tools of whatever texture you're using, because if I was just going to use a roller, I could get so far with it, but there's only so much of that I can get to because of the nature of the roller. There's always going to be a space I can't get to because the roller isn't going to touch it. Okay, if you're up against a wall or a ceiling or a corner or whatever. So having a trowel, a skin, and a texture pad, and a texture trowel, or a texture roller, and a texture pad, having all three of those options really allows you to get, in any situation. And it's also good to have the variety of the skin to keep things, fresh, to keep things mixed up. So, what I'm going to use is just some liquid release. Very easy. Just going to tag the surface of this. Take my skin, just lay it down, give it a pat, and lift it. This is very subtle. This particular Presidential one is very subtle. A heavier wood would be the Monster. Also note that when you're lifting up your skin, try to grab it in two places and pull it, straight up. If you try to roll it off like that, the chances for the outside edge to drag or to tear the surface, it will. And you certainly don't want to pull it, any kind of dragging. You want to basically imprint it and lift it straight off. This is going to take a little bit of a, you're going to have to be a little sensitive to the feel and the touch of it. But just know that this is very soft still, so any motion, even a chip brush could run lines in it, and you don't want it to run lines. So between those two skins and the roller, you have the ability to drop texture down right on top of it. You can corrupt it by coming a different way. Anyway, you understand it's really super easy to texturize something. I'm not putting a lot of weight on my pad. Unlike stamped concrete, they've got those big tampers where they're tamping down the pattern. Okay, you don't need to do that. Obviously, if your material is really, really soft, you can push it in and splooge it out. You're way too soft. Okay? You need to have, it needs to be firm, it needs to have a little bit of resistance for you. And that's when you do the thumb test. If you can put your thumb in, push it in a little bit, you're probably pretty good. Okay? So we'll just kind of finish this up here. But if you guys come in real close, take a look at it, you can already see that our flat countertop now, our seat wall, has a lot of nice, subtle, rock-like appearance to it. And that's perfect. That's all we're looking for. It's also good to rotate your skin, all right? I've seen guys out there stamp all the way down the line, and there's always some identifying factor of the skin, a little hook or curve or whatever, and it's like you look at the floor and you look whatever, and you're like, you just see the repetition of it, you're like, you got to be kidding me. You're like, couldn't you just turn it and flip it a couple times so that you can't determine where that is? And of course, I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm having to say that because there's guys out there who think this is so easy, and it is, but even something as easy as this, you can totally screw it up with something as simple as just not rotating your skin or your tool to give you some variance in your surface. Does that make sense? You'd be surprised what you see out there, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Feeling pretty good.